What's up, guys? Wreck-It Reezy back to another MHA video, and the day has finally come. It is finally upon us, boys. MHA Fight Club has finally returned, and not only has it returned, it is here to stay. MHA Fight Club will be dropping every Wednesday morning, so if you love these MHA versus videos, be sure to smash that like button, curb stomp that subscribe button, because that is the best way to let me know you guys love this series and you wanted to stick around on the channel. Be sure to drop your Fight Club suggestions in the comment section below. So briefly, here's how Fight Club works. I give a rundown of each fighter's quirks, abilities, and ultimately give my opinion on who will win and why. So without further ado, let's get it! Let's start with our great value all-for-one user, 9. We'll give a brief rundown of all his quirks and abilities. 9's first quirk is weather manipulation. 9's quirk allowed him to control the weather, allowing him to summon destructive thunderstorms in an instant, and even create powerful tornadoes with himself as the epicenter. However, according to 9, his quirk was too powerful for him to wield, and it resulted in the destruction of his cells. That's a tough break for our boy. Imagine being that powerful, but it kills you. 9 is a very tragic character in my opinion, but moving on to his second quirk, it's listed as all for one, but it's not truly all for one because he can only hold 8 slots. So I myself took it upon myself to rename that quirk Snatchies. 9's second quirk allowed him to steal other people's quirks and use them as his own. He was able to hold a maximum of 8 stolen quirks. So you can see how it's not truly all for one, because all for one, as we know him, can just take seemingly a limitless amount of quirks and just hold them, take them, redistribute them at will. 9's third quirk, we have Air Wall. 9 can use this quirk to create a barrier made of pressurized air to shield himself in a particular direction. This quirk can also be used offensively by releasing a powerful air burst that can push away people and attacks, or be used as a springboard which can physically push people. This quirk is both extremely durable and powerful, as it was able to withstand a 100% smash from Deku. And that is pretty crazy, because even when Deku went 100% full cowl and did that crazy corkscrew kick, 9's air wall did hold up for a moment there. It didn't get completely bullied by 100% Deku, which is crazy to think about, guys. Now we have 9's fourth quirk, Scanning. 9 uses this quirk to measure the strength of anyone he looks at through an infrared-like measurement system, which he uses to predict what someone's quirk is. This is demonstrated when he measured the increasing physical strength of Deku to determine he had some sort of quirk that granted him superhuman strength. That's essentially like a cheat code. Like, the guy can really just look at you and be like, huh, you have a quirk that grants you superhuman strength. That's kind of lit. And then proceed to kick your ass. And now we have 9's fifth quirk, Bullet Laser. 9 uses this quirk to fire purple colored lasers from his fingertips at will. This quirk has been shown to be able to easily pierce through human flesh, as well as many other solid objects and surfaces, as it's been also shown to explode on the impact of some surfaces. We're at 9's sixth quirk, and easily his most random quirk of all, and I feel like everybody who watched Heroes Rising for the first time kind of had that same reaction. Hydra. 9 can summon a number of large blue shaped dragons attacking out of his back at will. 9 typically uses this quirk as a long ranged weapon and uses it to suspend or restrain people. He typically summons 2 at a time, and it was just like when we all thought Bakugo had the drop on 9, and then a random ass blue dragon just came out of his bag and grabbed him. I feel like everybody just had that WTF moment during Heroes Rising. But I mean, it's a cool quirk, I guess. I mean, I'm not hating on it. It was just kind of random. 9 did have a 7th quirk, which he stole from that little kid's dad, but it kind of didn't really work out because it wasn't compatible with his body, so it's not really worth mentioning, you know? Now, let's meet our second combatant, Shigaraki. Let's start with his main quirk, Decay. Shigaraki's quirk allows him to disintegrate whatever he touches with all 5 fingers. It will take effect whether the target is organic or not. The disintegration spreads quickly and will spread throughout the victim's whole body if they do not amputate the decaying part. That is so savage. His quirk can even spread beyond what he's touching, allowing him to disintegrate large groups of enemies instantly. Drawback to Shigaraki's decay is he cannot touch liquids or particles, which is why the Sand Hero Snatch was immune to Shigaraki's decay. After Dr. Yujiko's experiment, Shigaraki's body was modified with enhanced strength, durability, speed, and stamina, stated to be not quite but close to All Might himself. Shigaraki also has the original quirk All for One, which allows him to take, give, and combine quirks at will. Another quirk Shigaraki has access to is Search, and Search allows him to view up to 100 individuals at a time. He can see them from a distance and through obscuring barriers. This quirk allows him to also identify their weak points. Another quirk within Shigaraki's All-for-One kit is Air Cannon, and with Air Cannon, Shigaraki can fire a large blast of pressurized air from the palms of his hands. And as we saw, he easily kind of blew Endeavor away with little to no effort at all, so it's pretty powerful. Alright, next up we have radio waves. Shigaraki can disrupt radio waves and cause communications to malfunction, and we saw this on full display in the war arc as Shigaraki was tired of the heroes communicating with each other and just combined air cannon and radio waves and completely disrupted their communications. Last but certainly not least, we have Ribbit Stab. Ribbit Stab allows the user to generate black tendrils that have red prominent cracked lines that extend from the user's fingers, although they can also emerge from the other parts of the body such as the spine. Alright, so now that we've met our combatants, how do I see this fight playing out? Well, thanks to search and scanning respectively, both fighters will have some insight on the other one just from looking at him. 9 being able to see Shigaraki's quirk, and Shigaraki being able to see 9's weak points. Shigaraki has the clear edge of physical strength and speed thanks to his body modifications, being stated to be close to but not quite on par with All Might himself. In all honesty, All for One Shigaraki is a hard counter to 9. Shigaraki's decay renders 9's Hydra quirk useless. 9 isn't helpless in this matchup by any means because we saw 9's air wall tank a kick from 100% Deku. Granted, it was only for like 2 seconds and then the air wall got shattered, but that's still important to note in my opinion because Shigaraki is not quite on par with All Might, which means maybe he's not quite on par with that 100% Deku, so maybe his air wall will hold up just a little bit better, but I don't see his air wall holding up for a very long time against Shigaraki either, for that matter, because we've seen Shigaraki take on multiple heroes, and if it wasn't for Eraserhead, Shigaraki would have destroyed the #1 hero, Ryukyu, Deku, Bakugo, and Gran Torino. 9's best bet in this matchup is easily his weather quirk. His tornado that he summoned was strong enough to withstand a 100% smash from Deku, as well as Bakugo's howitzer impact at the same time. And the lightning storm he can generate can give him that offensive boost that he needs. The only problem with that is Shigaraki has super regeneration, and when 9 uses his weather quirk, the toll it takes on his body literally kills him. So it's a guy whose quirk is literally killing him versus a guy with super regeneration. Not to mention, base Deku and Bakugo both got hit with 9's lightning and did not die. They also got hit with his finger lasers and did not die. 9's attack potency is extremely high, but against a guy who's been modified and is on par with All Might, granted, people need to understand, the doctor said not quite, as is Shigaraki is very close to All Might himself, just not quite there. So, and we've seen Shigaraki take absurd amounts of damage without super regeneration and still not die, not falter, and keep fighting. Shigaraki honestly just has all the tools to counter 9. And I know some people would be like, yo, this guy must be a Shigaraki fanboy. And I'm genuinely not, but you just have to look at it objectively. 9's finger lasers. Shigaraki managed to dodge Endeavor's Hell Spider point blank, and he also withstood Endeavor's Hell's Curtain and just walked right through it like it didn't phase him. 9 does not have that level of durability, and he doesn't have the level of attack potency, because we've seen 9 hit Deku and Bakugo even before they went 100% with some pretty dead on attacks, and they still kept fighting. and they don't have the same level of durability as somebody like Endeavor, and Shigaraki was beating Endeavor's ass. And if Shigaraki were to use Decay, things would get pretty bad for 9, because we've seen in MVA and especially in the War arc, Shigaraki's Decay range is mind numbing, and it doesn't even have to touch 9 directly. If a piece of debris that is decaying touches 9, he will start to decay. And I think 9 can somewhat levitate, because we saw him do that when he first activated that tornado. So maybe he would do that, and then he would be able to stay above the decay. I haven't even talked about Shigaraki's other quirks, such as air cannon, rivet stab. Shigaraki has a lot of tools in his kit to counter 9, and a big part of that is Shigaraki is, for all intents and purposes, the completed version of 9. He has super regeneration. He has body modification, so he can hold the original quirk all for one. Shigaraki was getting jumped by elite level heroes, and the more they beat him down, the stronger he got, because he was getting backed into a corner, so he had to surpass his limits. And 9, the more he uses his quirk, the faster he dies. So it's really a war of attrition. So even if Shigaraki couldn't land Decay, he still has air cannon and a few other quirks like super regeneration. 9 is just at a huge disadvantage in this matchup. I'm just gonna put it as simply as I possibly can. When Deku went 100% and Bakugo against 9, and Deku landed one smash cleanly and Bakugo landed an explosion, 9 was done. Versus All for One Shigaraki, Deku hoisted Shigaraki in the air with Black Whip and smashed him with 100% smashes back to back to back to back. And Shigaraki still did not die. And Endeavor also hit him with a max prominent burn right after that. And All for One took over Shigaraki's body and used Rivet Stab and took Endeavor out. But we're not going to bring Vestige All for One into this matchup, because honestly, he's not needed. But I'm going to stop like curb stomping 9 right now. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say Shigaraki wins this one. And that's going to do it for this episode of Fight Club, guys. I honestly thought this would be a lot closer until I started looking into it and realized Shigaraki, well, is the next evolution of what 9 would have been. But if you have any suggestions for Fight Club matches in the future, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and as always, guys, I've been Reezy. You guys just got wrecked, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.